Good afternoon and welcome to today's meeting of the House County Board of Education. I ask if you have a cell phone or other communication device, please take a moment to either turn it off or to silent so as not to disturb today's meeting. We will begin with a moment of silence. Thank you. At this time, I'm going to ask Trey Flagg and Sarah Johnson from Centerville Elementary to please come forward. And if everyone else would please rise, they will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Fine students that led the pledge today are here with Centerville Elementary School. And Ms. Maddox could not be with us today. We have Assistant Principal Art Billings. Mr. Billings.
Yes, thank you so much. And as you just said, Ms. Maddox cannot join us today. We have some guests back at Centerville today from the Teachers College. So she's back with those guys and they're taking care of instructional business there today. But I was fortunate enough to come out and share this moment with our teacher of the year, Ms. Barbara McComb. She's a ESOL teacher, and she's also one of our team leaders there at Centerville Elementary. We have two fifth graders, two outstanding fifth graders, which you just heard at the pledge. First, you will hear from Trey Flagg. He'll stand and share some information about why he was chosen to come and be with us here today. So, Trey, would you share with everyone about the great things that are happening at Centerville?
Well, I think I was chosen to come here because I always try to do my best in school. I always try to help other people. I'm always getting good grades, and I'm an all-around good student.
And next, you will hear from another awesome Centerville Elementary student, a fifth grader by the name of Sarah Johnston. And she too will share with you why she was selected to be here today. Sarah?
I think I was chosen to be here because I make good grades. I'm always on honor roll. I am friendly to everyone I meet. I'm capable of trying to help other kids, and I always try to do my best.
Thank you for having us.
And do you have any teachers with you?
I have Ms. Barbara McComb. She said she didn't want to stand, but we were. She's an ESOL teacher. She's been with us for 5 years now at Centerville. She's a team leader. We have teams, our upper grade, third, fourth, and fifth grade teachers are on different teams. And the homeroom teachers are not asked to be team leaders, but Mrs. McComb, who's an ESOL teacher, can be a team leader. And they do a lot of different things with the kids. She come in contact with the kids daily, checking on their grades, their behavior, setting expectations of what we expect kids to do in Mustang Country. We refer to Centerville as Mustang Country.
All right, Ms. Maddox.
Thank you so much.
Okay, next, Dr. Kim Halstead from Tucker Elementary School.
Good afternoon. I have with me two student leaders today, and they'd just like to shake your hand this morning, this afternoon, and tell you how glad they are to be here. As they're greeting you, I want to introduce Antonio Davis. Antonio is a third grader and Miss Burrell's friend
afternoon. I have with me Jarvis Dawson, math teacher, teacher of the year. He also a Saturday school teacher, and he's our math lead teacher at Crossroads. Next, we have Alfredo Ruiz, middle school student of the month. Twice, the teachers say he's nice and sweet, and he gets his work. He doesn't have any discipline referral. But when I get back, I'm gonna let them know that he talked all the way here, talking about sports. Get him on the subject of sports, and he won't shut up. Next, we have Ryan Britt. He's our high school student of the month. He's a reader, writer. Matter of fact, he says he's writing a book now, and he does a good job in high school. Thank you.
We always have schools to be recognized, and then we also have some other special guests, and that's the next item on the agenda. We are very pleased that 3 of our schools were recognized this month by the state for being family friendly. Millard Elementary and Morningside Elementary School are 2 of only 3 schools in the state of Georgia selected as the first winner of the Georgia Department of Education's Family Friendly Partnership School Award. Linwood Elementary was also named as a finalist, one of only 6 in the state. So if you think about the number of schools in the state of Georgia, this being a new program for us to have 3 recognized in the top, that's really an outstanding honor, but it's what we always expect in Atlanta. And we have those principals here today. We ask you this time to please come forward. Dr. Gwendolyn Pearson Kilgore, Dr. Pat Witt, and Ms. Lasagna Frierson. This award will be given out each year to no more than 10 Title I schools that go above and beyond to make families feel welcome and who work to engage parents in their children's education. These schools are models for the entire state. Millard and Morningside were chosen because they offer the best customer service to the families, whether they're serving them in person, by phone, or online. They work to forge partnerships with parents to help improve student achievement by providing innovative parent engagement programming that is successful in reaching all their families. State School Superintendent Dr. John Barge will visit Morningside and Millard on November 27th, present plaques to each, and a welcome mat for their front doors. And of course, we're pleased to congratulate each of you today. We had another school win a statewide award this month. Shirley Hills Elementary has been named a reward school by the Georgia Department of Education. This is also a new award, and it's reserved for Title I schools with the highest performance or the biggest academic gains by students in the past 3 years. Dr. Tracy Jackson, would you like Shirley Hills Elementary is one of only 78 schools statewide honored by the highest performance category. Shirley Hills ranks in the top 5% of Title I schools and was chosen for this honor because it has the highest performance for the all students group over a 3-year period. Shirley Hills is a shining example of what we can achieve in public education in our state, and Dr. Jackson is the leader that helps get it done.
right up the Pasco County School System.
Was Dr. Melnick the principal? Okay, this week is also School Psychology Awareness Week. The theme this year is Know Your Own Strengths, with a focus on helping students discover, share, and celebrate their strengths. Our school psychologists reach out to the students and parents to help students realize how their strengths can help them develop relationships, deal with stress, and promote optimal development. And some of our school psychologists were able to attend today. I want you to know that we certainly appreciate what you and your families, because of the time you have to give, but everything you do for the students in our system. And if you would, please stand and be recognized. Thank you very much. A little bit different meeting format today because of the fact we did not have a work session last night being Veterans Day. Do any members of the board have any questions or comments for staff regarding the review agenda, consent agenda? Mr. Wilson?
I have a couple of comments. One, on the transition fair that is being held, just a question of parents. This is to help the students to be able to transition into the workforce or school, college, etc. Can you kind of elaborate?
Yeah, we hold it every year as an annual for them to look at post-secondary options.
Okay.
And it may not be college, it could be school, it could be the military, it could be a variety. So it's like we invite several agencies to come in where the students can go around and collect information from different agencies. So it's really after they graduate, post-secondary options.
Okay. And parents, of course, are invited to attend that.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you for that. And then the other one was for the facilities committee, Jason. Just a question about the seat. I sent you an email on that. The stadium.
On the stadium?
I'm sorry.
What's the question?
I sent you an email about the stadium, McCown Talbot Stadium. You sent us an email about the stadium itself and the renovation.
Yes.
And then I sent you an email back about the widening of the seating.
I was going to go out and follow up on some additional information for it.
Okay, okay. And then the secure entry building, I responded back to your email on that about the entry. You gave us 3 options to look at.
Yes.
And you were looking at those, of course,
Yes.
on the response of those.
But we were, you might have to follow up and get some additional information, but just trying to get some feedback from you guys.
Oh,
Yeah, I think the next step on that would be for us as board members to look over it, get with Jason with whatever questions we have, and really that falls in our court to give them some guidance on what we would like to see done.
okay, yeah, I responded back with an option, one that I chose, so.
Yes.
Okay, that's fine. And let's see. Oh, that was it.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Wilson. Anyone else on the review agenda, consent agenda? Not Dr. Melnick, we need a motion regarding today's meeting agenda.
Yes, sir, I'd like to make a motion that we adopt the agenda as presented with the following conditions. That we decide whether to appoint Skip Dawkins to represent GSBA at the FRN conference in Washington in January.
We have a motion by Dr. Melnick, second by Ms. Hughes, to approve the agenda as presented with the addition of one item, and that would be under new business item 7F, regarding an FRN representative for the GSDA. All in favor of that motion, please raise your hand. Motion carries 6-0. And the minutes from the previous meetings, Dr. Melnick.
Yes, sir, I'd like to make a motion that we approve the minutes from our previous meeting.
Second.
Motion by Dr. Melnick, second by Mr. Wilson, to approve the minutes from the previous meetings as presented. All in favor of that motion, please raise your hand. Motion carries 6-0. Now, I'm going to do something a little bit differently today on board member comments. I always go last, and I'm going to take prerogative to change that up to go first today. Unfortunately, when you go last, there's usually not much left to say because everybody on the board's pretty much covered it. But most everybody knows today is Dr. Hill's last board meeting. And Mr. McMahon will be sworn in and taking over in January. But Dr. Hill has served us proudly over the last 8 years, and I feel privileged to have known Dr. Hill, met him probably in 86 or 87, Booster Club at Northside High, while his daughter was a manager for the football team while she was a student. And got to know him a little bit then, and got to know him a lot better when he was over at Crossroads. I had a family member there, spent a fair amount of time over there, and got to know him. Very obvious then of his passion for education and more importantly, passion for the children and the students that he had to work with. And I just can't say enough what it means to me, not just to have served with Dr. Hill on the board, but to know Dr. Hill and consider him a friend. And I hope he stays in contact with us and will still value his input in the future. Also, his wife is here. I'd like Anna Hill to please stand up. And what a great person Anna is. Everybody else would have said all those things about Dr. Hill before they got to me. I did make a couple notes here, some things I didn't want to forget. I really hated that Charlotte's not here from the Home Journal, because I know Dr. Hill's just disappointed. He always liked for Charlotte to be here to get his quotes. And I made some notes of some quotes that I could remember, because a great thing about Dr. Hill in the board meetings is during board member comments is you never knew what he was going to say. Of course, one of the bad things about Dr. Hill's during board member comments is you never knew what he was going to say. So the few of them I can remember is, usually when presentations are going on about how the income is reminding our financial personnel that a tree can only grow so tall. And a lot of times, sometimes we get too deep into the small points of things and what actions we need to take. You might hear from time to time that you can't throw the baby out with the bathwater. But my favorite, I didn't even have to write this one down because I've heard it so many times that I can remember it, so see if I can get it right. Mr. Tooblin, I understand all of that. I'm looking for a yes-no question, and a yes-no answer to my question. Of course, Mr. Tooblin's answer would always be, but you got to ask me a yes-no question. But in Dr. Hill's defense, I think they generally were, Mr. Tooblin. And we're going to save you for last today, Dr. Hill, if that's okay. Okay. Mr. Maddox.
Glad to see everybody here today. I'm the new guy here, and so I haven't been around Dr. Hill as long as some of these others have. But I learned pretty quickly that he had some really important things to say. And I think the most important one, or the thing that sticks with me, and I wish I could remember what school it was, maybe it was Westside, had their piano group here. And if you weren't here that day, there was a keyboard set up, and there were a number of kids that came and played that keyboard. And as I remember those children, it was basically just a model of our school system. There was black, there was white, there was Asian, there was older kids, younger kids, and probably more advantage and less advantage. And it was just basically a snapshot of our system. And they all walked up to that keyboard and they played and did a great job. And Dr. Hill said, when it was done, he said, that keyboard doesn't care who's playing. It didn't matter young, old, black, white, Asian, rich, poor, it didn't matter. That keyboard knew that if that child tried really hard and put their heart in it, that the music sounded just as good as if the other kid did. And that one, when he said that, I went, wow, that's pretty good. And so I'll always remember that. Remember the keyboard, it doesn't matter who's playing it. If you put your effort into it, you can do it. And we all need to all remember that. Dr. Hill, we're going to miss you, and I appreciate it. It's been a pleasure and serve hope I feel better now.
Thank you, Jim. Ms. Hughes.
Okay, sure. Like everyone else, there's a lot we can talk about today because there's been so much that's happened over the past few weeks and a lot that's going on right now, but I'm going to limit it to my remarks to Dr. Hill. I do want to say a few things to you and about you. Things that I admire most about Dr. Hill and that I'm going to remiss are listening to his stories about his travels, whether it's talking about his beloved North Carolina or a mission trip to Jamaica or a trip to Disney World in the rain or a European adventure. I'll miss hearing those stories. I'll miss seeing your love for your family, your precious wife Anna, your children, your grandchildren. You always seek out to express your love for them, and I always look forward to hearing about them, and you're very proud of them. They're very lucky to have you as a husband, a dad, and a granddad. I'll miss seeing you exhibit your faith through your actions and being an example for others of how to live a good and godly life. Your abstract ways of thinking about things and taking something that's really relatively common and changing it to something that's totally like out there. Anyone that could write a book about, a devotional book, now get this, about never hug a belly dancer. I mean, you have to be kind of, I couldn't even get there from there.
Or you may not want to do.
I also miss watching you make a point through posing questions to our staff, and you probably already knew the answers, but it was your way of making sure that they knew that certain things needed to be addressed. Laughing at your Cubbyisms, becoming a GOM or a grumpy old man, and needing a long hair of nectony. What is that? Being open and transparent when it came to controversial issues like rezoning, millage rates, religious freedom and its role or non-role in the school setting, and your dissatisfaction with our state legislatures, whose actions sometimes threaten local control of our school boards. And finally, I'm going to miss watching the expressions of Dr. Hines and Mr. Palmer as they sit with anticipation, waiting to see what your comments are. It can kind of be sort of amusing to watch their facial expressions, just waiting to see what you're going to say. Finally, you've been a friend and a mentor to countless lives, including me, and an example of the way a board member should conduct and perform their duties. So well done. I'll miss you, and happy Thanksgiving to everybody else.
Thank you, Helen. Mr. Wilson.
Yes, thank you, and I amen everything that has been said. Toby, you're a great guy. Got to know you when I first arrived here, back in the 80s, I believe it was the middle 80s, and Toby always had a heart for kids, from what I can tell. I met him over at the Crossroads, I believe it was, or University Center at the time, maybe it was. But anyway, I got to know Toby, and then I also knew him on the base, that is, after he retired from the system. He was an educator out there on the base with the military people there, same heart, regardless of the age of the kids. He wanted to make sure that he did his best, that people were educated to the highest level. And then sitting beside him on this board here, his comments certainly are to be remembered, and more than that, the impact that they have had on our system and upon everyone. So Toby, as I said to you earlier, I'm going to miss sitting beside you and knowing that we have a strong person here, not only a strong educator, but a person with strong character, strong Christian virtues and things like that. So I'm going to miss you, and just keep doing what you're doing for people. Appreciate it. Just another comment there. This week, many people have honored our veterans, and we appreciate that. I got to go to 3 different schools, and every one of them gave honor to our veterans, and we certainly do appreciate that. And the concert that was done by Veteran High School on yesterday is just phenomenal what the teachers are doing with those students from every grade level there, 9 through 12. So it was great to receive the kind of recognition and honor that our schools and others do. Thank you all very much.
Thank you, Mr. Wilson. Dr. Melvin.
We go way back, Toby, you and I, throughout our professional career, and even this school system and this board, he was always driven by one thing, and that was what is best for our students and our teachers. That was his mantra. I have great respect and love for you, Toby, and I will miss you greatly. Happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you, Dr. Miller. Well, that just leaves one person. Now, before you begin, Dr. Hill, I'm not going to get off that easy. We have a tool for you to use today for your board member comments. Mary Ann, can you slide so that everybody in the audience can see what we have here? You're welcome. Wait a minute. Okay, okay.
I do appreciate my wife Ann over there. She's, we've run for office several times, and she doesn't like doing it, and I don't like doing it particularly, but we have trumped all over this county, putting up yard signs and posters and seeing people, knocking on doors, and she's been an incredible partner, and is still an incredible partner, and patient beyond the legal time, I have to tell you. And it's a privilege to be married to her, and have been for 46 years now, or 47, something like that. But she's a great human being, and I hope y'all recognize that. I think I'd be remiss without mentioning two or three people. Mr. Clemens, Mr. Boswell, and Ms. Greenway, who served here at our side and helped, I think each of them helped in their own way establish this board the way it is. And this board especially, I think, is one that should take some amount of pride in its ability to work without personal agenda. And I think that's really because each of you are good people at heart. And we take that for granted sometimes, but it is true. And we need to really be able to recognize the fact that good, honest people will run for office and do their best. And my judgment, my judgment is Tom, the best public servants are at the local level. I really believe that. And the higher up you get, the less public and the less servant you become. So I really believe that everybody on this board is a public servant. I want to also thank Matt Arthur, who is actually shamed me into staying on until November and December. I was going to leave earlier and let Dave take over. He had a talk with me at church, and if any of y'all have ever had a talk with Matt Arthur, you know you're going to lose when you start into that conversation. So we ended up staying on for the fun. Danny and David Carpenter, of course, I've known both of them forever. And I remember having a conversation with Danny before I ran for office, and I said, I'm not going to actually agree with everything you say if I win. And he said, oh, don't worry about it, that's no problem. And it comes to find out I didn't actually agree with everything he said, but he's a great friend, and David also took us through very difficult times, and in dark times I can't say enough about your leadership. I think you've done, I've told you before how much I appreciate you, and I don't want to get into comparison with this, but you do a great job. Ms. Riley sitting over there, I know Ms. Riley, we've gone through several students together, and you handled all this with grace and dignity, and you're a classic person, and it's an honor to have known you over the years. And I'm looking to see Jan Morton's not here, but I go way back to Jan too. So Jane Raines is up there. I think we started pretty much about the same time. And Chris Gibson, if I remember right, weren't you our DOT student? Yes. Man, that was a long time ago. dozen more in the school system. Y'all probably don't know this, but I was the superintendent of schools in London, was a senior in high school, and a great basketball player. Could have been a great tight end if we had football. But to see people like Ronnie and Eric and people that I've known over the years make the kind of progress that they've made and become the leaders that they have, despite what other people would have thought when they were younger. It's been real rewarding. And one last thing, y'all are in capable hands. David McMahon is a great human being and will just hit the ground with his feet moving here. I take one little small bit of trivia. I actually hired him first job in Houston County. Came to see me and we sent him over to Warren Robins High School. And we got hired over there and he's been moving ever since. And I really appreciate his running for his office and feel very confident in his ability to do a great job here for the board. So it's been a real pleasure. We're going to head off to Germany here in about 2 weeks, and I'll be thinking about y'all the whole time.
Dr. Hill, I know you said one last thing, but one more last thing. If you would join Dr. Hines and us in front of the table here. Oh, you already saw what I had here, didn't you? Now, I know Dr. Hill likes to play golf. I don't know if this will get him through a whole day or not.
I just want golf clubs there.
I can do that. What he's talking about, I had a brand new R11, I let him borrow it, and it took him getting shoulder surgery for me to get that. Brand new. But anyway, we have this plaque here for Toby, and it reads, "In grateful appreciation for your years of service and leadership dedicated to the Houston County Board of Education and the children of Houston County Schools. Board member, District 7, January 05 through December of 12. Vice Chairman, January 09 through December of 11. We appreciate you so much.
Would be the superintendent's comments, Dr. Hines.
Thank you, Mr. Walmer. Dr. Hill, we certainly do appreciate everything that you've done. Have you ever noticed when you do these type of things, it's kind of like a eulogy or something? But Toby's going to be around, and I certainly have appreciated your friendship these last 7 years, Toby, and look forward to many more. Toby's been a lifelong supporter of education. How many years, Toby, in education? 46? 46 years dedicated to that, and he's still doing that. He still teaches, and he will certainly be missed by this board. We just appreciate everything that you have done, and I appreciate our friendship and your support that you've given me every step along the way here in Houston County. I just appreciate that, and I know that everybody in here feels the same way, and I hope that everybody understands that, he has really supported the students. He's done it through the teachers. Everything, the decisions he makes is to make things better for those kids and those relationships in the classroom, and that certainly, I have not missed that at all seen that all along the way, and we appreciate it. Now, moving on, this has been a great time for Houston County here lately. We had 3 state championships that occurred on Saturday. We had our Houston County Sharks were the 2012 varsity handball state champions. Give it up for the Sharks. And we want to congratulate our Houston County High School and Veterans High School state competition cheerleading champions. That's like every league we participate in right there. Now, that's pretty good, and I know that for me, a friend of mine is like a judge coordinator and called me after that and just talked about what a great job that our schools did and how they represented us well. And I believe that she said that Houston County unseated a 5-time state champion, and just nobody could believe it that our girls just did such a great job. And then up in the afternoon was veterans, and in her words, that they were just off the chain. So we're really excited about that. And just earlier than that, we had another state champion, our one-act play competitions. Northside High School won the state one-act, and it was winning again this year their 17th state championship in one-act competition since 1978. That's pretty good right there. I can also point out that they've won 48 of the last 49 region championships as well. So, that's pretty special. I also want to congratulate Perry High on winning the state runner-up for one act. Y'all get up, Perry. Well, Sendek broke their play, and it was really, really outstanding, and I certainly did enjoy seeing that. Also, we were awarded public relations awards at the state. Our community relations department won more state awards. Our team won 7 PR awards, 5 gold awards, and 2 best of the best awards. How about it, Beth? The awards were presented for our reading posters, Teacher and Employee of the Year Recognition Program, Month of the Military Child Celebration, and Years of Service Recognition Program, and our opening sessions. And I just congratulate you again, Beth, and your team. They do an outstanding job. Perry High School, FFA, they're on, doing it again. They recently competed at the FFA Nationals, and they won 3rd place in horticulture and 14th in meats judging. Now, this is out of 50 best of the best teams that competed across the United States. So when you talk about out of 50, it really starts out with about 500,000. So, we all know what Coach Perry FFA group does. November is Parent Involvement Month, and our system is fortunate to have parent involvement coordinators and engaged parents, and heading up that for us, Carla Thorpe. Carla, will you stand up? Carla's behind the scenes a lot. She does an awful lot for us, and she is involved in so much and working out of her department over there. But children learn best when their parents and teachers work together to encourage and support them. And decades of research shows that when parents are engaged, students have higher grades, better attendance, and increased motivation. That's why it's important that our families feel welcome in our schools, and we do a great job of that here in Houston County. Especially proud of Morningside and Miller as being recognized as family-friendly partnership schools. Ladies, again. And also Glenwood for being a finalist for this new state award, so congratulations to you all again. Also wanted to mention the history of the Board of Education webpage. Our system has a new way to preserve our history, and it says we've created an archive site. Well, Beth, that's Beth over there, it's another one of her projects. She's been working on this for quite some time. But it's the history of the Houston County Board of Education webpages. If you haven't had a chance to look at it, please check it out. There's some fascinating information in there. There's a virtual history of our system to help document our rich tradition and accomplishments. And the public is encouraged to submit items to be considered for posting. So look for your scrapbooks and your yearbooks and email your photos, newspaper clippings, and school programs. Our Houston County Heritage Foundation Board met last week to make grant award decisions. They had 38 grant applications asking for a total of about $43,000. But in the next few weeks, the foundation board members will visit schools to award 12 grants totaling $9,500. A new chairman was chosen, Stephanie Phillips of Griffin Insurance will be the new chair. Now, just a little bit about the vision for public education in Georgia. With this past election, it's clear that the battle to support public education will continue here in Georgia. In 2010, the GSBA and the GSSA pulled together a group of committed public school supporters, to include our own Mr. Dawkins, who's not here today, to create a vision for public education in Georgia. And we've talked about this vision before, but I want to remind everybody about it and encourage you to visit their website, which is linked from our homepage and school web pages. The vision outlines what we stand for in our state, and is something that we can all get behind and support. In short, this is the vision statement. Our vision is that public education in Georgia will provide all children an equitable and excellent education that prepares them for college, career, and life. And in closing, I want to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving. I don't know about y'all, but when I looked at my calendar to start this week, and I could not believe that it's almost time for Thanksgiving holidays. I'm ready for the Thanksgiving holidays, and I know that you all are as well. But we'll be closed next week to celebrate this time with our families. And finally, I want to recognize our school psychologists. I know you already have been, but this is School Psychology Awareness Week, and the theme this year is Know Your Own Strengths, with a focus on helping students discover, share, and celebrate their strengths. Our school psychologists reach out to our students and parents to help students realize how their strengths can help them develop relationships, deal with stress, and promote optimal development. Some are with us today, and I know many of them personally. They're like friends of mine and everything. It's amazing that they're psychologists, because about half of them are crazy. Stand up, please. Stand up.
As the saying goes, he we have.
That's right. But, you know, a lot of people don't realize what all they do. They're involved in every bit of the business of education, from the instructional piece to the, you know, just when we have issues and problems and all that. And we do realize that, and we appreciate what you do. You know, you're working all the time, and I know you're overworked, and we appreciate y'all very much. Thank you so much. And I believe that's all.
Thank you, Dr. Hines. Mr. Thuman, financial reports, please.
All right, we're requesting approval of the September financial statements. And the general fund had assets of $56,192,000. We had liabilities of $17,589,000. And the ending fund equity of $38,602,000. The general fund had revenues for the month of September of $12,553,000. And we had expenditures of $17,695,000. The debt service fund had assets and fund equity of $1,876,000. We have revenues consisting mainly of SPOS receipts of $1,871,000, and we had no expenditures in September for the debt service fund. Capital projects fund had assets of $36,186,000. We had accounts payable of $1,223,000. And we had an ending fund equity of $34,962,000. We have revenues for the month of September of $5,000.
questions? Anyone else?
All right, now.
Okay. You're still chucked up from board member comments?
I began to think it was a race for me instead of Dr. Hill.
Just go ahead.
All right, before I give up the podium,
Well, we haven't taken any action on the call.
Go ahead, Steve.
Okay, at this time, I entertain a motion regarding the September financial statement. Motion Wilson.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we approve the September financial statement as presented.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Wilson, second by Ms. Hughes, to approve the September financial statement as presented. Any discussion? All in favor of the motion, please raise your hand. Motion carries 6-0. Mr. Thubel.
Yes, sir, and I just, if I may have a brief moment that there is an employee that is retiring, Dr. Hill Dr. Hines has given her so much grief about this is her last everything, but today I'd like to just briefly honor Jane Raines, our Director of Accounting and Payroll. She has been an employee of ours for over 25 years here in Houston County. She has devoted over 40 years to the accounting for school systems and everything. Believe me, a lot of the accolades, a lot of the stuff that we've received financially over the year have been because of her hard work and dedication. And if you would just please grant her a moment and just please recognize Ms. Raines for her outstanding service. I assure you, she is very hard to replace and much harder than this person anyway. So, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Thubel. Dr. Scott, personnel reports.
Yes, sir, I do bring to you the certified board report. With that is the certified retirements and resignations for the elementary level. We have 5, all of them in early childhood positions. At the middle school level, we have 3 total, 2 special ed, 1 middle grade math. Certified retirements and resignations, we have a total of 2, 1 SPED, 1 media specialist. And I would just mention, as I think I posed before, we got a little change with our retirement, and several people request retirement on the tax, discretionary tax offset. The TRS is going away effective November 30th, so we're finishing up those retirements and getting those positions filled. So you will notice some vacancies there still. Under certified transfers, we have a total of 3. Under middle school certified transfers, we have 1. And then under elementary school certified new hires, we have a total of 4, 3 of those being early childhood, 1 in special education. And high school certified new hires, we have 1 special ed teacher there. In the elementary school certified vacancies, we have 1 special ed position, 3 early childhood positions, and 1 part-time counselor position that we are not replacing this time, so we have a total of 4, not counting that part-time counselor position. Under middle school certified vacancies, we have 2 special ed positions, 1 assistant principal, and 1 middle grade math position, for 4. Under high school certified vacancies, we have 2 special ed positions, 1 media specialist position, 2 that are for FY14, and then 1 intervention teacher, for a total of 6 vacancies there. Under system-wide certified vacancies, we have 1 city service and technology specialist position that is vacant due to Brian Trent receiving the assistant principal position. And so we also have a job description that we will be bringing to you with that. And that is our certified board report.
Any questions on the certified report? Okay.
They are classified board report, under retirements and resignations, we have a total of 18. 2 of those in school nutrition, 4 custodians, 1 maintenance, 6 paraprofessionals, 4 transportation department, and 1 warehouse employee. We have a total of 19 classified new hires, 10 in the school nutrition program, 1 accountant, 2 custodians, 4 paraprofessionals, 1 transportation
Any questions on the classified report? Entertain a motion at this time.
Make a motion that we approve the personnel report presented.
Okay.
Motion by Ms. Hughes, second by Dr. Hill, to approve personnel reports as presented. All in favor of that motion, please raise your hand. Motion carries 6-0. We'll have some additional items for executive session. Moving to new business, Mr. Toothman, item A.
Yes, sir. We are requesting permission of the board to go out and purchase 15 buses from the Bluebird manufacturers, 12 84-passenger buses, and 3 39-passenger handicap accessible buses. We're requesting to use the state contract. We've also met with the vendor, Yancey Brothers Sales and Services, and have included the paperwork for that. These buses we would like to go ahead and order. It takes approximately 6 months to go ahead and have these manufactured and brought in. And then we will come back in probably the May, June timeframe with a lease purchase agreement after, and we would share that with Mr. Gerald's, and then request at that time that we go ahead and obtain the financing for these purchases. But we would go ahead and place the order with Bluebird to have them in place next year. This is basically, we're requesting 15 because this one, when we went through what our needs were for the special ed buses and the regular passenger buses, we felt this would be our need for the next 2 years, so we're not anticipating coming back to you next year. Requesting.
And did that dollar amount fall into the budgeted amount that we had done?
Yes, sir. Actually, this is not a part of the budget.
Because of the lease.
The first payment really won't be due until August 2014 would be the first payment. So it's really a couple of
13?
months out. No, sir.
Okay, okay, it says 13.
Well, it'll go in the, it does. Okay, it'll actually be August of 2014. Because we would get these next year.
And it's a minimal difference in price between the engines. Is there any economic advantage to the new engines, or are they more fuel?
Not really. It's just that.
And I guess it's outside of our control which one we receive, whichever's available at the time.
Yes.
They come off the line. Okay, Dr. Miller.
Are these buses planned for?
Yes, ma'am. All buses that we spec out include the air conditioning.
What do we have to add other than cameras? Are those stop buttons already at the back of the buses we receive, or do we add those?
I believe those are, Frank, go ahead.
The little stop, the rear bus transport,
Yes.
those are state mandated.
So they're already on the buses.
All the buses manufactured in the state of Georgia have to have that.
What about the interior cameras? Those are add-on after?
Those are optional, and we've been putting cameras on for the last,
Yeah, we use the.
But is it included in this price, or is that an after the?
yes, these
It
are.
is included.
That's everything's included. We added also some options with the, I know as you enter the bus, some stainless steel, just some areas that over the years, we know that it's better to go in and reinforce them now and rather than having to repair them later. So this should be all inclusive with the two process.
Any other questions? May I have a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we go ahead and approve the request for the purchase of 15 Bluebird buses from the Yancey Brothers Sales and Services. 12 of them would be 84 passengers and 3 would be 39 passengers. The 84 passengers, $115,723. The 39 passengers, $99,494, totaling amount for $1,687,158 for 2012 engines, $1,717,833 for the 2013 engines.
Let me ask before we have a second, we just modify the motion to say up to $1,717,833, because it could be a combination of it could be in between those two.
I'll modify that.
Second.
We have a motion by Mr. Wilson, second $17,833. Any discussion? All in favor of that motion, please raise your hand. Motion carries 6-0. Thank you. Mr. Daniels, item D.
Yes, sir. We have no construction, new elementary school number 11 on Langston Road. Been working with the city and county to make sure that we have utilities that are needed to support the school. And asking for board to enter into an agreement for annexation and city services for that piece of property on Langston Road for the city of Perry, so we can receive city services and incorporate it in the South.
Any questions? And you have that agreement ready to sign, please, sir, if we do it. Do I entertain a motion at this time?
Make a motion to approve the agreement for the annexation and city services for the new elementary number 11 on that one.
Motion by Ms. Hughes, second by Dr. Melnick, to approve the agreement with the city of Perry for annexation and city services for new elementary number 11 on Langston Road. Any discussion? All in favor of that motion, please raise your hand. Motion carries 6-0. Thank you, Mr. Daniel. Ms. Horn, item C.
Yes, we are asking that the board consider the revisions to policy GDRH. This policy deals with personnel professional leave. What these revisions will do is just simply bring the policy into what we are currently doing. Practices that address our policy, or instead of following policy, it's just the manner in which we're doing it. We're actually putting in professional leave online rather than by paper.
Any questions? That one was pretty straightforward. Okay, entertain a motion at this time.
I make a motion that we approve the revision to policy GBRH as presented.
Motion by Mr. Wilson, second by Dr. Hill, to approve the revisions to policy GBRH as presented. Any discussion? All in favor of the motion, please raise your hand. Motion carries 6-0. Dr. Scott, item D.
Yes, sir, I bring to you the job description for the position of student services technology specialist. And this is a position, line transposition, of course, that the whole job description was an instructional technology specialist, and we did away with that during the ribs. So we went through to make sure that the job responsibilities that were listed in the job description actually met and allow us to align that with what the need was for the classroom to support the special education teachers with technology. And so this job description will actually accomplish that. And the main changes that we made with that were some system level technology kind of things like the web page and assigning technology rights, some of those things that person actually would not be doing in technology services, we still would do those types of things. So we bring this job description to you, and it will be with that position that we posted and fill that position of student services technology specialist.
Thank you, Dr. Scott. Any questions?
We anticipate just one position.
Yeah, it is a position that already exists.
I mean, we don't
It is just, it is one. We currently have two people that fall in that category, and Mr. Gentry is in the other position. There were two people that were assigned to that department, and we had that position become vacant, and we reviewed all job descriptions when we have a vacancy like that, and put it in that job.
Any other questions? Entertain a motion at this time.
I'll make a motion that we approve the job description for student services technology specialist as presented.
Motion by Mr. Maddox, second by Ms. Hughes, to approve the job description as presented for the student services technology specialist. Any discussion? All in favor of the motion, please raise your hand. Motion carries 6-0. And then we have one other job description, Dr. Scott.
Yes, sir, I bring to you the job description for homeless liaison
Motion by Mr. Maddox, seconded by Mr. Wilson, to approve the job description for the homeless liaison as presented. All in favor of the motion, please raise your hand. Motion carries 6-0. And then we have the addition to the agenda under item F. And in summary, the GSBA each year looks for school board members to participate with them with the Federal Relations Network, basically a trip to visit with Congress and politicians in Washington and lobby on behalf of and be an advocate for public schools. And with his work with GSBA, Mr. Dawkins has served in this capacity several times in the past. And Sis Hendrick and the GSBA has asked the board's permission to allow Skip to be able to assist with that project again this January.
I'll make a motion that we approve Mr. Dawkins' nomination for the Washington Legislative Advisor.
Second.
Motion by Dr. Hill, seconded by Mr. Wilson, to approve Mr. Dawkins to attend with the GSBA with their delegation to Washington in January to represent the Georgia School Board Association. Any discussion? I'm sure most everybody in the room knows that Mr. Dawkins has been very active, not only with the Houston County School Board, but working statewide as a president, and obviously been vice president, past president, but still very active with the School Boards Association and trying to be an advocate, not only statewide, but making these trips to Washington once a year to represent us. Anyway, all in favor of that motion, please raise your hand. Motion carries 6-0. At this time, entertain a motion to go into executive session for student matters and personnel matters. Motion by Dr. Melnick, second by Mr. Wilson. All in favor of the motion, please raise your hand. Motion carries 6-0. And we will take about a 10-minute break. We need to move pretty quickly into executive session.